Austria, born in Nigeria, but all of his 4 years as a professional have been in Austria. First time outside for Saeed Lawal. The Twilight Zone is his music. Looks okay now, and the way he looked a little apprehensive, and understandably so.
Well, I like to see fighters who are a little bit apprehensive. This is a big night for him. If he was too relaxed, then there'd be something wrong. Being keyed up is just part of a fighter's tools. You have to be keyed up, you have to be worried, you have to be on edge. And if Lawal is on edge, then I think that's all to the good.
Seen very much as the opponent here, a 14-1 underdog. You can't get a bet on Naseem. But if you want to back Saeed, he's 14-1. 7 KOs, 19 fights, 17 wins. But this, by far, is the most difficult night of his career, and of course, the biggest.
Yeah, well, I don't really expect Lawal to go home victorious. I don't really give him a realistic chance. But we have to remember, the Africans are famous for their pride and their sheer warrior spirit. So I'm sure he's come here to fight. He won't stand off. I don't think he'll be intimidated. He'll see this as his big chance of hitting the big time, and he's going to go for it. I have to be honest, that basing yourself in Austria is not the quickest way to strike terror into everybody's heart. It's a strange move. But we hope that he has an excellent record. He's only lost once. He has 1 draw, an excellent record. And he looks fairly confident. He certainly doesn't look intimidated there as we look at him in his corner.
They've got one common opponent, Freddie Cruz, who beat Lawal, lost on points, did Lawal in Vienna back in December of 1994. He drew the following year. And of course, Naseem Hamed beat Freddie Cruz in 6 rounds in '94.
Yeah, well, we always say different fighters make different fights, but Freddie Cruz was an excellent performer, let's remember. And maybe he just had the style that Lawal couldn't solve out. As I say, we don't expect him to beat Naz, but we just hope he's good enough to pose a few problems, bring out the best in Naz, and hope Naz just can't walk all over him. I don't expect he can. He must have something to offer. He's in the world ratings. He has a decent record, a respectable record. His last 2 fights have gone the full 12 rounds. We're entitled to expect some sort of show from Lawal.
Incidentally, we were talking earlier, or Paul was, with Barry about Lawal being a southpaw. He is a southpaw. I asked Brendan Ingle, the trainer of Naz, if that would affect Naz. He said no. He said he'd have to have 4 hands to beat Naz.
Well, Naz is not an orthodox fighter in any sense of the word. He throws punches from all angles. He doesn't set himself. He doesn't work to any kind of pattern or any kind of routine. Just whatever comes up, Naz deals with it, gets his chin out of harm's way, comes back with the solid counters, until eventually he's decided it's time to go home. Then he goes to work and finishes the job. That's what he's done up until now, and we'll see if he can continue to do that tonight. But the southpaw stance of Lawal, I don't think will hinder Naz in any way whatsoever. But these are very nervous moments. He's thousands of miles away from home, little Lawal here, but he still looks very calm. As I said earlier, he doesn't look intimidated. I'm sure he's been keyed up in the dressing room. We saw him warming up, we saw nice sharp moves. You see the sweat on his brow there, so he's ready to get down to action. So wish him luck, but not too much of it, I suppose.
Now Naz is playing a game here. I think he's keeping Lawal waiting.
Yeah, well, I mean, Naz, once again, you don't know what to expect from him. Naz doesn't have to strike terror into this little fellow's heart. I think the little fellow knows already the size of the task that he faces. I'd like to see Naz just get moving.
Naz is apparently now ready. The Prince behaving like the king. Let's go out to Mike Goodall.
Ladies and gentlemen, and now the moment Scotland and Britain have been waiting for. The WBO featherweight champion of the world, Prince Naseem
ultimate boxing showman of the 90s. Chris Eubank, eat your heart out. Very different from the kind of music that Naz has been playing at this kind of volume for the last hour. O Fortuna from Karima Barama, and Naz is the conductor. And now Naz's own little concoction, something he mixed himself. He calls it knockout position. This may last longer than the fight.
Well, the only one person in the whole arena who's not looking at the entrance of Naz is little sad Lawal. He's standing in his corner, just facing away from all the ballyhoos. So he's just trying to keep himself focused on the job. This is the type of entrance that really could intimidate a visitor, but he's doing the right thing. He's ignoring it completely, just shadow boxing in the corner as Naz comes strutting towards the ring.
Still not exactly in a rush.
Well, most fighters at this time, they start wondering, what am I doing here? Why am I not out with my mates for a pint? But Naz loves the fight game. He's one of the few boxers who actually enjoys going into the ring. Most people, they prepare for the fight, but they worry about it. Naz relishes this. He loves it. Look at him. Loves every minute of it.
He had this going for about an hour. Only a few minutes ago, he was asked to turn it down. Do you think he replied?
It's actually quite possible the Board of Control could eventually complain about this type of entrance taking so long. They might feel it's not fair on the visiting fighter. But the crowd love it. Let's face it, as Bud Schulberg said, boxing is show business with blood. So we're seeing a little bit of show business here, and we don't want to see too much blood. So a little bit more show business is good news.
His third time he's fought up in Scotland, and they just love him. Even with so many distractions in the sporting arena this weekend, this has been a sellout, and it was a long time ago.
So I wonder what the entrance will it be like. Will it be a flip over the top rope? Will he just come in quietly? Will he have something that we just don't expect, something entirely new? We'll find out in a couple of minutes.
He wants to party some more.
It's nice to see an athlete who has total confidence in what his ability is and what he's about to do. He knows exactly what he has planned.
One of his stablemates, Ryan Rhodes, taught him that, but he does it perfectly.
Still Lawal not looking at Naz. There Naz is over in his corner now. Lawal doing the right thing, ignoring him.
Naz doesn't look overawed by the occasion.
Yeah, hardly. Yeah, Naz still enjoying himself. A wonderful entrance, something new every time you see him. Now he's having a little go at intimidating his opponent.
See Lawal just brush him off there. Let's have a look now at the relevant statistics. There you are, Lawal 6 years older, both of them short, even for featherweights. Naz just 4 ounces inside the limit. Lawal a pound inside. And there the fight stats, and you can see Naz only 3.6 rounds averaging per fight, and Lawal the other way around, 6.3. And 8 of Naz's wins have come in the second round, the round that he predicts he'll win this one in. Right, let's go back to the MC, Mike Goodall.
Ladies and gentlemen, this contest is sanctioned and conducted under the rules of the World Boxing Organization, whose president, Senor Francesco Valcasel, is at ringside with supervisor John Montana from Arizona. The British Boxing Board of Control supervisor is Mr. Simon Block, and the steward in charge, Mr. Brian McAllister. The timekeeper at the bell, Mr. Jim Russell of Glasgow, and the judges at ringside, appointed by the WBO, Mr. Luis Pavon from Puerto Rico, Mr. Jose Rivera from Puerto Rico, and Mr. William T. Connors from the United States of America. And in charge of tonight's action, officiating in his 126th contest, our referee this evening, Mr. Fernandez of Puerto Rico.
There's Ismael Fernandez, who officiates, but of course won't score. The 3 judges will do the scoring here.
Live from the SECC in Glasgow, on Europe's premier sports channel, Sky Sports, and the Big Time Boxing, where it's Big Fight Time. Promoted by Frank Warren for Sports Network and Catherine Morrison, in association with our sponsors, Glasgow District Council for the City of Glasgow, the National City of Sport, and MBC, the Middle Eastern Broadcasting. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing to you the boxers for this, a 12-round contest of 3 minutes each round to decide the WBO Featherweight Championship of the World. Firstly, in the red corner, wearing the red trunks with the white trim, and coming originally from Nigeria, now fighting out of Austria. From 19 professional contests, he has had 17 wins, 7 by way of KO, with 1 loss and 1 draw. He weighed in at 8 stone, 13 pounds, and comes to the ring tonight as the WBC International Featherweight Champion and the challenger for the title. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to Glasgow, Syed Lawal. And across the ring, ladies and gentlemen, in the blue corner, wearing the leopard and coming from Sheffield and the Yemen. In 20 professional contests, he is undefeated. 18 wins by way of KO. He weighed in at 8 stone, 13 pounds and 12 ounces. He is Britain's most exciting fighter and the current WBO Featherweight Champion of the World, making the first defense of his title. Ladies and gentlemen, the incredible, unbelievable Prince Naseem And now, ladies and gentlemen, the referee for the contest, Mr. Weezo Fernandez, will give his instructions to both boxers.
Dead right, he's the most exciting. How good he is, we still don't exactly know. Maybe we'll know a little bit more tonight.
Well, now is the time for Lawal to meet them eyeball to eyeball, and he still has not been prepared to do that. He's refused to meet Naz's gaze all the way through the introductions. So now we'll find out if indeed he is intimidated.
It's been some build-up. Now, Lawal's people say they're going to be in front of Naz. Take the fight to him.
I don't think that's a bad idea, as long as you keep your chin down nice and tight between your shoulders and keep punching as you move forward. If you stay in front of Naz and don't throw any punches, then he's going to take you out. He can't back off. He has to go forward and try to get close.
Round one.
Oh, my word! That was the right hand we were worried about.
The fight's all over. The fight is all over. His legs have gone. The referee could just call this. Naz, I wonder if he'll back off and just let him recover, because this fight should be stopped. That young fellow's legs are completely gone. If this fight is not finished in the first round, it's because Naz doesn't want to. Yep, it's all over. All over.
The most clinical finish seen at the British ring for some time. And Prince Naseem Hamed retains his WBO featherweight title.
Well, we didn't learn anything new, but we're reminded of the chilling power that Naz has with one single punch. That's all it took. All that training, all that road work, all that preparation for one punch. And the next work is over.
A few boos around because people feel they've got shortchanged.
Yeah, well, people were expecting, I'd hoped for a little bit longer than there was promised. We were promised 5 minutes and we got like about 30 seconds. I haven't heard the official time yet. But I think people get a little bit disappointed. We really have to see a competitive match. Even if it's a short match, we don't mind, but it has to be competitive. Well, a one-punch start and finish is certainly not competitive. But breathtaking, wonderful power from Naz, but not a competitive match. So people, yes, I think they're entitled to feel just a little bit disappointed.
Next up should be Danny Alicia of Puerto Rico, is the #1 contender. He perhaps will ask a few more questions. There's the first knockdown, the very first punch of the fight.
It's possible that Naz didn't really intend finishing the fight with one punch, maybe even surprised himself there. Maybe that was just a punch he threw. He stepped in with the punch. It was a wide hook. Maybe Naz at the time didn't really realise it was a knockout punch he was throwing. I think he would have liked to put his show on a little bit longer. As he goes, supreme confidence. Just looking, out it comes, wide punch, bang, perfectly on the chin, and it's all over. The referee could really have stopped it then, because when Lawal got up, he had nothing to offer. His legs were gone. I wondered if maybe Naz would back off and allow him to recover. He decided not to. One more punch, doing exactly as he pleases.
You could see the head rock backwards. It was some punch.
Yeah, tremendous punching and tremendous power. And once again, we're amazed where Naz finds this power, where the power comes from. But the fans are obviously going to feel cheated. There
Two
it goes, look.
extraordinary punches. And there's the second. The head goes right back, and that uppercut really sorted him out. So Naz is the champion. And here is the
Ladies
announcement.
and gentlemen, after 35 seconds of the first round, the referee has stopped the contest. The winner and still featherweight champion of the world, Prince Naseem Hamed.
So Naz seems happy enough. A job done in spectacular fashion. Two ruthless right-hand punches. And he's still the champion. We'll be talking to the man right after this break.
Frank, tonight is your time. Your date with destiny. Tonight, your talent, your honesty, and your courage will speak for you. And we are with you. Frank, you've beaten the odds before. And Frank, this is how legends are created. Britain stands behind you. Sky subscribers can see the big fight live and a selection of repeat Sunday screenings by ordering now for just $14.95 on 0990 800 800. That's 0990 800 800. Cable viewers order through your local operator.
Told you not to go away to boil that kettle. In case you missed it, it lasted 35 seconds. Prince Naseem Hamed retains his WBO World Featherweight Championship. It didn't look as though he was fighting the toughest opponent in the world, we have to say that. But Barry, you can't argue with the man. He keeps doing this, either in the first round, the second round, the third round.
Well, we always knew this was a soft option as far as the opponent was concerned. The guy's record didn't suggest he would put up any sort of resistance, but we thought we'd maybe see a couple of rounds. I was optimistic and I'd written down maybe 4 or 5 rounds on my card. However, it was an emphatic finish. That right hook was just incredible. And it was it's the same punch that he actually finished off Robinson with, funnily enough. Switched position and then whacked in that right hand. He just walked straight out of the corner. Showed him, got him to, just jerked a little bit with his right hand, feinted, put his hands up, walked around the side of it, crack. But great shot. I mean, we can have a look at it now. Just let's see it here again. Walked straight out in the centre of the ring. They were meeting in the centre of the ring, feinted, and then turned it around the side. It almost looked as if Lawal was either had bad balance, but was falling over anyway. And we can see it from a different angle here again. But if you can keep your eyes on Lawal, he was, as I say, sort of slightly off balance. So watch what Naz does here. Goes out here, a little feint, shrugs his shoulders, and then whoop, and then bangs in that right hand. You can see it landed just above the left eyebrow, and Lawal never really got over it. And the finish here, as you can see, Duke, was pretty impressive, the finish.
Well, yeah, he's I don't know. I think Lawal he must have been totally intimidated by Nez from like start to finish, because he didn't look at him at all when he got in the ring. And had his face to his corner the whole time, and they are good shots that Nez hit him with, the 2 punches that he thrown. And he probably works harder in the change room, getting prepared to actually come out and go to work. But your heart's got to go out to Lawal, really, because like I say, he just looked totally overawed throughout the whole thing. At
least it didn't last long for Syed Lawal. Let's hear. This may take a lot longer. Naseem Hamed now speaking at ringside.
Naz, congratulations. I think you answered one question we had, how the right hand was. I think the right hand's in pretty good shape.
The right hand's perfect. As you see, I don't tell lies. When I make predictions, I make to knock him out. Now, he wasn't going to the second round, but I would have loved to do it in the second round because I predicted it. But at the end of the day, it hit him so hard, the first shot, and it put him down, basically. So, what the hell with the second round, you know? It was going, so he had to go.
Did you know it was a meaningful punch when you threw it?
I knew it hit him bang on. I timed it so precise. I told everybody in my change room was what I was going to do first round. And if it had hurt him, and it did. It hit him with a beautiful, cracking timing shot. That's what a true professional is, a true world champion. So everybody out there what are listening, especially the fighters that want to fight like sweet, seeing stupid people out in Britain, they get knocked out, Sparko.
After you knocked him down the first time, you just seemed to step back just for a fraction of a second, seemed to almost as if you were waiting for the second round, and then you came back in and it was a ruthless uppercut.
A ruthless uppercut. I mean, end of the day, you've seen the shots yourself. They were so timed, precise. I was so cool, calm and collected. I wasn't missing anything. End of the day, I knew what I had to do, and the first round came, it ended, you know.
We were watching your face during the ring walk, and even when you got in the ring and you were stalking him, he looked to be a little bit intimidated.
Well, that's my opponent. I mean, I can't do anything about it. That's him. I came here, it's great in Scotland. I get a great buzz. The reception I got was unbelievable. I love the Scottish crowd, and you never know, I might be fighting here all the time.
There's a few booing. I think they'd like to have seen a bit more of you. I think that's the response.
Well, you know, that's how it goes. Boxing's boxing. I mean, I come out here and done my job, and I took him out with a perfect right hook, and then carried on and took him out in the first round. First round and second round, they knew they weren't going to get a late round job anyway. I said second round, but it ended in the first early.
We've seen a few boxers in recent months saying how they're not in love with the game. You look as if you are absolutely in love with the game.
I love the game. I'll always love the game. Boxing is a great game. It's the hardest sport out. But I've trained all my life from the age of 7. This is why I'm so good today. I just thank my parents, my family, everybody behind me, and the main thing behind me is Allah, that is God.
What's next? Do you think Danny Alissier, he's the #1 contender, will you fight him next, or do you want to go for Azuma Nelson?
I'll fight any featherweight, any super bantamweight. I might be even stepping up and soon come when I beat Azuma Nelson. I'm going to beat all of them. I'm going to bring so many world titles back to England, it's going to be untrue. I'm going to be a legend, and I said that from the start.
We're off for a party now, and I think you're going to join us. And
I'm going to have a wicked party. I am going to have a wicked party. I'm going to be flying out in the next week to the Caribbean. I'm going to be chilling.
Before that,
I've done my job. I've done my business.
You sure have. Have you got a word for Frank Bruno?
Frank, he knows he can do it. Just